I'm Alejandra Perez, and this is the second part of the League of Women Voters Forum for School Board Candidates. School board candidates will discuss how they will handle issues if they are elected. The school board candidates include AJ Cecil Starlin, Jan George, Dan Greenwell, Cindy Hansen, Jebediah Hibbs, Bob Michelson, and Cristian Supio Perez. Candidates will introduce themselves and say why they chose to run for school board in their opening statements, starting with AJ Cecil Starlin.
Good evening. My name is AJ Cecil Starlin, and my husband Eric and I moved to Sioux City in 2018 with our 3 daughters for his job with the Sioux City Fire Department. Through my experiences, I've seen firsthand the dedication of our teachers, the challenges within our classrooms, and the importance of strong partnerships between schools and families. I want every student to have the same opportunities for success that my own children have experienced in our public schools. I want teachers to feel supported and respected, just as I hope my daughter feels when she begins her teaching career next year. I want families to feel heard and valued, and I want to be heard and valued myself. I'm running for school board because I believe we can make this vision a reality. By focusing on the needs of students, staffing shortages, retaining excellent educators, transparent communication, and community collaboration, we can ensure Sioux City schools are a place where every student and every educator truly thrives. I'm not a politician, but I am a parent, a professional, and a proud Sioux City community member who believes in common sense, compassion, and accountability. I'm ready to listen, to learn, and to lead, and have the best interests of our students at the front of my mind in all of my decisions. Thank you.
And next, Mr. George, will you give us your opening statement?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jan George. I'm a proud husband to a beautiful wife, a father to 3 amazing daughters, and a very proud grandfather to 3 wonderful kiddos. 2 of them are one sets of twins. Family is the heart of everything I do, and is one of the reasons why I'm passionate about supporting our schools and community. The school system is part of my family. I've spent 31 years teaching in this district, 17 as a special education teacher, 14 as a regular education teacher. I feel I have skin in the game to be a leader in the district. I have walked the hallways and have lived the classroom. Over the years, I've worked hard to make sure our students and teachers have what they need to succeed. I've supported putting more teachers in the classroom and reducing class size because every child deserves individual attention. I've supported the redevelopment of the ELL and special education departments, ensuring that every student, no matter their background or ability, has the opportunity to thrive. I've also supported bringing reading back into the middle school curriculum and reintroducing middle school teaming, which helps strengthen the connection between student, teacher, and parents. Along with that, we've put in discipline and behavior supports in place to create a positive and safe learning environments. And the results speaks for themselves. Our Iowa Student Performance Profile has improved across all schools. We have more teachers in the classroom, and I've probably voted for programs that equip both students and staff with skills they need to be successful. I'm excited about the progress we've made. I'm even more excited about what's ahead. Thank you.
Dr. Hansen, will you please give us an opening statement?
I also want to thank the League of Women Voters. I put students ahead of me being here on time and my own personal agenda. That's what I'm going to do when I'm your school board member. I also thought it fitting to mention that it so happened I could wear my referee uniform since I had no time to change, but I also want a school board that doesn't need these. Cards that have meetings where we might need to have cards demonstrating unsportsmanlike behavior. That's not how a school board meeting should run. That's not the example we should set for our kids, and that's not the example that I will bring to the school board. My vision, my focus is students, student achievement, progress in student achievement, and transparency in the results that we see. Actually opening up the data, letting people know where we're doing well and where we need improvement. We may be better than our peers, but we're not perfect. Any student failing is too many students failing. We need to have everything focused on transparency, accountability, ethics, student focus, and most of all, research, and that includes the voice of our students, our teachers, the parents, the paras, the building staff. All of those are important voices that know things that the board needs to know in order to make informed decisions.
Dr. Perez, your opening statement.
My name is Christian Supiot Perez, and I want to thank everybody for coming today. I'm originally from Spain, and I have lived in Sioux City for 6 years. My youngest was born here, and both my kids go to Irving Elementary. Like many in this community, I am an immigrant, and my family is multilingual. I'm running for a school board because I'm a firm believer in public education, and I have attended public schools all my life, both in Spain and here in the States. And also my family, multiple members of my family are in education. Here's what I stand for. I believe in education as an investment for the future of our students and our communities, and we own them to them to be bold and ambitious. We need to work on expanding what makes Sioux City uniquely strong, our dual language program, career academy, arts, and STEM programs. I believe in supporting our teachers and making them have a voice in our decision making. I believe in transparency. The public needs to know that we did our homework and answer every question before voting, and that there is no conflict of interest in our decisions. I believe in honest, respectful collaboration. I'm running to listen, to learn, and to lead with integrity, especially when we don't agree, because we will disagree in things. I have been embarrassed sometimes to see the behavior in the board, to be honest. I believe that the public deserves civility. And I believe in preparing students for a changing world. That means a strong literacy and math skills, but also critical thinking, digital literacy, civics, creativity, and multilingualism. And to treat the diversity of our schools and of our students and professionals as a strength and not as a crisis. I will show up, I will listen, and I will put to good use all my training in analyzing problems and offer solutions for consensus. Thank you.
Thank you for the opening statements.
As we just heard candidates explain why they are running for school board, we will now listen to panelists asking them questions about issues including mental health, lunch debt, and funding.
Before running for the school board, how have you been involved with the Sioux City Community School District? For example, have you regularly attended school board meetings?
Oh, good question. I have been involved with the school district and in the schools since we moved here. My wife is, like I said before, is a teacher. I have volunteered in many programs, Freightliners for show choir, and various other things for the school. It's, you know, I also attend board meetings. I have been to every single one that we've had in the last 2 months. I would like to attend more as a member of the board. But yeah, I have been very active in the school and the school board.
Dr. Perez?
Yeah, so when I moved to Sioux City, a little bit after that, a little bit thing that happened was COVID. So that changed the way that I interacted with the school district for a little bit. But I've been keeping track of the school board meetings. I've attended a couple of them as well in person. I take turns with my wife. She is also very involved, and she attends sometimes. We have 2 little kids, and we have to take turns. But I'm also in the board of Mary J. Treglia Community House, and we have a preschool. So I have experience helping overseeing the preschool there that is part of the preschool initiative as well. So.
Many students face challenges outside of the classroom that affect their learning. For example, mental health issues, food insecurity, homelessness, etc. How will you ensure that schools provide support for the whole student and not just the in-class part?
Well, I think that we have a lot of things that we can do. One of those things would be not sending food accounts to collections, in my personal opinion. I also think that it is vital that we have access to mental health counseling in every school in our district. The number of mental health professionals that are in schools currently is not adequate, and the increasing level of support that students need makes our current staffing not appropriate for the student needs. So I think that that should be a priority moving forward for the district, is to make sure those things are accessible to students who are at school and during the school day.
Mr. George?
You bet. Luke, that was a great question. It really was. Every child gets lunch. Every child gets lunch. And we know that sometimes that might be the only time they get it. But the school itself has some mechanisms. We have we always had a student committee, not a student committee, but a committee where we discussed students that were in need of help or in need of assistance in some way. We have a fairly large population of homeless students in Sioux City as well. And so we got to make sure that we stay in contact with those students and to get them into the school. We also have a lot of connections on the outside, bringing, we just approved an MOU for another organization to come into the school and deal with students with, so they can talk about their mental health and get some help and get some assistance in that way. Teachers do a lot too. Teachers have talked to students, have helped students financially, usually through a collection of some type. It's one of those things that schools itself, do I think we could do more? Absolutely. But we have to do what we can afford with. And I think that's important that we use all the sources we can use without having to pay a lot for them. And that's where our MOUs come in.
Dr. Hanson and Mr. Greenwell, what is your position on the outstanding student lunch debt in our district?
Thank you for that question, Katie. It's a great question on the heels of Luke's question. Certainly, debt is an issue that the school has to think about from a fiscal standpoint. However, I also want to think about it from a human standpoint. Students, parents who are not paying their lunch debt are most likely facing a whole lot of challenges. I've worked in a number of nonprofits. I've served on boards for a variety of entities. I worked at 2 community colleges, very familiar with the socioeconomic status in our community and the true need that exists. Sending to collections lunch debt, to me, is embarrassing, to be honest, that we would live in a community where we find that to be an acceptable method of handling student lunch debt. I realize they still get to eat. However, it's one more thing that we're putting on top of families that are already strained.
Mr. Greenwell.
72% of our kids are free and reduced lunch students in this district, and that's grown about 2.25% every year for the last 5 years. The outstanding debt, all you have to do to get a free and reduced lunch is fill out a form. We've tried contacting those people. We've gone through that. I'll fill out a form. You don't even have to come in. We'll take it over the phone. We've tried to approach those people. There are 53 folks we sent to the collection. Most of those folks are of means. They're not people that can't pay. So the idea that we're allowing people to come in is just not acceptable for the free and reduced. So they fill out one form, they get free lunch, there's no issue. They won't do that, and these are people of means that will not do this.
In recent years, has the funding to Iowa school districts from the legislature been sufficient to educate students and pay teachers? And if not, what options do school leaders have to set their budgets?
That's a good question. Unfortunately, what we see from the legislators is that the state funding for schools gets lower and lower. I'm going to be honest. I think part of the board mission is to recover the trust from the public, to be able to tell the public, hey, if you want better education for your kids, if you want more local control on the education of your kids, you are going to have to put more skin in the game. We're going to have to talk about money. So that is, sorry, Brett, I wish the podium was transparent. So I know it's not a very hot take, and probably will not give me any votes, but I do believe that if you want local control and if you want good education for your kids, you need to put a skin in your game. You have to put your wallet in where your mouth is.
Mr. Hips.
I think that the funding has gotten worse. It is not what we need. Obviously, with the vouchers coming in, that is a huge red flag to me because that is taking funding away from public schools. If you're sending your kids to a private school, that's your choice. You have made the choice not to put them in private school or put them in public school. I don't believe that the vouchers program is working. In order to combat that, I would look out to the federal and state legislators to figure out if there's another plan that we can do, another bill that we can pass, or something that we can help get the funding back into the public schools.
Next question is by Luke Larson. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Michelson. I apologize. Please answer the question.
No, I would say that our voters need to they need to advocate with
the state legislators, our state legislators. But the good news is this. The good news is the previous board has done a terrific job of protecting us financially moving forward. We have the ability to ride out the storm, so to speak, with a general fund that is strong. We're doing it right now. But in the meantime, what we need to do is, like I said, we need to get out, we need to talk to our lawmakers, and we need to stress to them that the cash isn't good. It's not there.
You're listening to the Forum of the League of Women Voters with school board candidates saying why they chose to run and discussing current issues for the school board. Now we will hear them answer random questions.
On several occasions, community members have expressed concerns about behavior with members of the board. If you were to be elected for another term, what would you do to change that? And how do you feel the behavior has impacted teacher, staff, and student morale?
Sure. No, I'm a passionate supporter of public education. I'm a passionate supporter of being prepared going into meetings and passionate on certain topics. Where I've been over-passionate, I would say, I've apologized for that, so I recognize that. That's not an issue. I'll continue to be passionate. The best and the worst thing about me is I'm completely transparent. I don't have a pretense about it. What you see is what you get. I'm authentic as can be. Everybody knows where I stand. It's the best and the worst attribute that I have. I think I've learned a lot from it. I think you've seen us take a different tenor and tone at the board meeting. President George has done a good job managing the meetings, but from time to time there is passion. And we heard a speaker up here tonight say, "I want to see that public discussion. I want to see that debate." Fine, I'm for it. I don't step away from anything. But you can have a different approach from time to time, and I think I've learned that, and that's how I'll continue. But I will continue to be authentic.
And our next question will be for Ms. Cecil Starlin. And how will you ensure that all students, regardless of race, income, or ability, have equal access to quality education and opportunities to succeed?
I think it's very important that all of our schools are welcoming places for all students from all different backgrounds, and making sure that all staff have training to be able to provide that welcoming, equal opportunity education should be a priority for our school district. I think that there should definitely be policies in place that can still align with state requirements and laws that make sure that we are meeting the needs of every single student in our district, because every student deserves to have the same opportunities that my children have had, even if they don't have me at their school advocating for them.
Our next question will be for Dr. Hansen. And this audience member is asking, there have already been a couple of questions and answers that have been brought up about the Career Academy. In the past years, pathways have been cut due to teacher shortage. How can you be prepared or prevent these cuts happening to programs?
That's an excellent question. I think, as has been mentioned, collaboration is extremely important. Working with our local post-secondary education providers to provide teacher development. We have some teachers that don't have the qualifications that it takes to teach a dual credit course at a Career Academy situation. And so working with them is also a retention effort. When we support people pursuing additional education, that's helpful for keeping them connected to our schools. In addition to that, making sure that we're connecting with those post-secondary providers to find out if they have capacity where they might be willing to share instructors as well. I think there's some creative approaches that I've seen work in other environments where colleges can partner with high schools to be able to lend their staff or to supplement the enrollment in their courses as well. So I think there's a variety of opportunities if we look creatively and look in a growth mindset rather than a shortage mindset.
We're going to go into our closing statements. Mr. Michelson, your closing statement, please.
Sure. One of the things that swirls around my name, and I think it's probably good to address it right here, that swirls out around my name is the conflict of interest. And the conflict of interest is either my wife being a teacher and me being a school board member, or my position as Dean of Students at Bishop Heelan. Where my wife's concerned, if you've ever met her, I promise you she can advocate for herself. But where she is concerned, I don't have enough time. Where she's concerned, I was taken to task on the board for supporting a policy that rewarded teachers for not using all their sick days and at the end of their career. We're 15 years away from Kate getting that, 7 boards away from lining our pockets with $4,000. As far as the Heelan thing goes, I'm not going to apologize for spending my time with 9th through 12th graders, trying to help them navigate the most difficult time of their life and trying to help parents do the same.
Mr. Michelson, your time has expired.
No regrets.
Okay. Mr. Hibbs.
I just want to say thanks again for having this forum. It's a great tool for us to get together with the community and everybody here to put across our message. I just want to let you know that if I am elected to the board, I will be transparent as I can be. Obviously, I'm not going to infringe on anybody's rights or anything like that, but I want to be transparent. I also want to have solution-based communication. Let's sit down and have the conversation to figure out what the problems are, and not just what the problems are, but how we can solve them and move on to the next ones. And then my third focus is also going to be on the kids. That's why we're here. We're here to help support these kids become great leaders. And I believe that if we come together as a board, as the staff and teachers and community, we can actually make this school board and this school district great and have a bunch of great leaders come from us.
Mr. Greenwell.
Thank you. In January of '22, we went before the Siouxland Initiative and laid out a long-term plan of the things that we wanted to get done. Improving our student performance and Iowa assessments was one of them. Recruitment and retention was another. We laid out what we were doing that with pay, continue reviewing pay to make sure that we meet market and keep our people. We're doing that today. The other one is looking at the state underfunding. Right now, the state underfunding is significant in special education and ELL to the tune of $5.6 million this past year. It's probably going to be up to $6.5 million this year. So we have to look at that. We also have to have a comprehensive understanding of the sources and the uses of the funds. That is something that we are very, very good at. This district is making positive improvements. We've made them over the last several years. We're continuing with those. It's good progress. 24.8% of our students are ELL students. That is growing at 5% every year. 5% every year. We have to support that program. We have done that. We've supported ELL programs and SPED programs and free and reduced lunch as well. So we'll continue this. What we're doing is working. I'm very positive, and I look forward to serving again. Thank you.
We heard school board candidates discuss current issues, why they ran, and what they would change. The forum was moderated by Marguerite Reinhardt. The school board candidates are AJ Cecil Starlin, Jan George, Dan Greenwell, Cindy Hansen, Jebediah Hibbs, Bob Michelson, and Cristian Supia Perez. The general election for City Council and School Board is on November 4th. Residents can now start casting their ballots. I'm Alejandra Perez for Siouxland Public Media News.